Hello everyone, I'm finally recording the video I've been wanting to make for a long time. Today I'll be talking about how to harmonize your chakras using essential oils. But first, a little bit about who I am. My name is Olga Dobrova. I'm a specialist in the matrix of destiny, chakra numerology, and psychological profiling using tarot arcana. And usually in my consultations, I use all three systems at once. I also use essential oils as one of the tools for correcting both chakras and energy. In the matrix, I use essential oils. I've been familiar with essential oils for over 8 years, so I know how to use them both for health and for correcting more subtle structures. And in this video, specifically today, I want to talk about how to balance oils, not just considering individual oils, but more by groups, so that afterwards you have a clear understanding of which oils can be used to correct a particular chakra. Because what was it like before? When I tried to find out which oils would be suitable, usually it would just say for this chakra and then simply list the oils. That is, it doesn't explain why those oils are used, or some oils are explained, but there isn't a general grouping. So today, I'll tell you which group of oils is suitable for each chakra so you can understand it right away. And especially if you have certain oils, but not the specific ones that are listed, you'll know which oils can be substituted for others. And now I'll briefly explain what essential oils are and how they work on the body. That is on several levels. I'll explain how they affect the physical body, our emotions, our vibrations, and our higher subtle structures. So what are essential oils, really? They are ether, organic compounds that have very small molecules. And what does that mean? It means they are able to penetrate right into the cell itself. In other words, besides essential oils, only viruses are able to enter the cell itself. Other substances mostly penetrate only into the intercellular space. And because these are low molecular compounds, they enter the body very quickly. So it takes just 22 seconds of inhalation for the oil to reach our brain. After application, it takes less than 2 minutes, especially if we apply it to the soles of the feet, for the oils to reach every cell in our body. And after 2 to 2.5 hours, they are completely metabolized and eliminated from the body, causing no harm. So where they are needed, they will help, and where they are not needed, they won't do anything. That's why they are simply eliminated and only benefit our body. If we look at how they affect the physical body, there are so many effects, starting with reducing fever and even curing a runny nose. It's like a natural first aid kit. You can use it for all occasions in life. But the most important point is why essential oils work. Every time we experience some kind of emotional stress, or for example, we eat poorly, don't get enough sleep, or something else happens, the blood becomes more acidic. The pH of the blood changes, and with it, the charge of the red blood cells changes as well. These red blood cells don't stick together, and as a result, this affects the full flow of blood and the delivery of oxygen. And what do essential oils do? Essential oils are able to act literally after just a moment. That is, we inhale them and they start working immediately within less than a minute after essential oils enter our body. They change the charge of the red blood cells. Simply put, when the blood thins on its own, it immediately becomes more fluid. This instantly improves oxygen access, metabolism, helps remove all harmful substances, and restores the cells. So all processes start to move faster, and the blood pH levels out. That's the main thing. Everything else is just a bonus. For example, if a child or an adult has a fever, you can use essential oils, or if there's a wound, you can also use essential oil for faster healing. But overall, this is the main thing that affects our body. If we look at emotions, what happens? When we inhale essential oils, they affect the limbic system of the brain. That's the part that's responsible for both memory and our emotions. That's why with the help of oils, we can influence our mood. In other words, oils balance us out. They actually build these new neural pathways. If before this, our mind keeps going along the same paths, the same mental patterns, then essential oils help us build these new pathways. Secondly, they affect memory. And what does that mean? All these beliefs of ours that are buried somewhere in our subconscious, the ones we don't even pay attention to, they just run our lives. What do the oils do? They help bring these beliefs up to the surface. So usually when we start using oils, after some period of time, sometimes faster for some people, sometimes slower for others, these suppressed emotions, these subconscious programs, they start to come to the surface. And why is this especially relevant in our time? Because the vibrations of the earth are increasing significantly. And that's why the more negative emotions we experience and suppress, the more they accumulate inside us, layer upon layer. And these essential oils allow us to bring up these layers one by one without any intense intervention. So we simply inhale the oil and it already starts to bring up certain programs, drawing them out of our system so that we can finally let them go. How do they affect our energy? In terms of vibrations, oils are considered some of the highest vibrational compounds. The slide shows that dried herbs are only 12 to 22 megahertz, while fresh greens are 22 to 27 megahertz. And if we look at oils, they are already in the range of over 100 hertz. That is, especially rose oil. Yes, the highest vibrational one is 320 megahertz. And what happens then? When these high vibrations enter our body, even just by inhaling, they begin to tune our vibrations to match the oil. So not only do they bring up all these unnecessary programs, they simply help all that unwanted stuff to peel away. That's why rose oil, yes, it's the highest vibrational and it helps. All of our heart wounds, emotional pains, all of that, it helps to remove them because they will no longer resonate with us. So at first, on the contrary, when we start using oils, there is a strong cleansing process. So yes, all these emotions, they come up to the surface so that we can experience them. And the most important thing is not to suppress them again, but to truly live through them in the moment. And that's why, as I said, now is such a time when everything is changing quickly. The Earth's vibrations are rising. And for us, our vibrations either rise as well, or we somehow prevent them from rising. And what happens? So we tune in, all these programs come up, and in the moment, it's very easy. Well, on the one hand, it's easy, but one of the most effective things is just to experience it right then and there. And all these beliefs that have been accumulating for years, they can simply be lived through in the moment. If we don't suppress it again and don't react the way we usually do, every time a negative emotion comes up, we have this urge to get rid of it. But in this case, every time we experience negative emotions, if we try to really live through it, what does that mean? It means that whenever we feel something negative, we say yes to that emotion. Yes, literally repeating yes to ourselves. And we try to really feel this emotion, to actually savor it, no matter whether it's negative or not. And by living through this emotion, all of that accumulated layer, we simply let it go. That's regarding how they work on the vibrational level. Now, if we move on to the chakras themselves, here I've briefly written what each chakra is responsible for and how oils supposedly influence them. And the very first chakra, I think many of you are already familiar with this, is primarily responsible for how safe we feel and how well our needs are met, how connected we are to our body, how connected we are to our relatives, to our lineage, because the chakra is responsible for that as well. So which oils are used here for balance? These are all oils that help us work through, first of all, our ancestral patterns, help us stay grounded and help us get rid of certain fears. And if we look specifically at the fullness of the chakras, the more filled a person's chakra is and they don't use that potential, or if the chakra is very underfilled, it actually indicates that the person may have a lot of fears. And if a person has a lot of fears, the first thing is juniper. This is the oil we use to remove fears. If we focus on working through ancestral patterns, these are all coniferous oils. Well, basically, yes, oils from the coniferous group, which I have listed. And coniferous oils, interestingly, are responsible both for the lower chakra, for grounding and for balancing our third eye, the sixth chakra, because these are the oils that help us both to ground ourselves and to stand firmly, and for our connection with higher structures. And it's precisely this conductivity, meaning they simultaneously affect both the first chakra and the sixth chakra, just to remember that. Then these are also the oils that give us energy. So if this chakra is in balance, our immunity is strong, we always have enough energy. And if you feel that you're lacking this, right, then we use spicy oils, specifically those that are warming, clove, cinnamon, and cardamom. These oils are more for the second chakra, but they also help with the first chakra. And the best way to apply them is on the soles of the feet or under the kneecap. This is considered the most effective method. And in general, for the oil to work, we apply it every day, ideally, even at least 3 times a day to achieve an effect. So what do we do next? Yes, and as I mentioned, we mix them. We don't apply them directly, right? We mix them with a carrier oil. And why do we do this? Because if, for example, we apply them directly, these are such volatile compounds that half of it could already evaporate. And the carrier oil helps these molecules penetrate deeply into the layers and spread further there. Now, if we take ready-made blends, yes, if we're talking about the company doTERRA, doTERRA already has ready-made blends that work with the first chakra. And this is the balance blend, and it's a blend for calmness and the emotional set. So what do we use to harmonize the second chakra? And the second chakra is more responsible for our desires, our sexuality, and our relationships. That's why all oils from the masculine and feminine groups are suitable here. What does that mean? Oils from the feminine group are all floral oils, while oils from the masculine group are, for example, patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, ginger. So what do we use here? Here, it's not so much all the floral oils, but rather more of the warming oils. For example, cinnamon. Cinnamon, especially for women and for the second chakra, is simply an essential oil. It really helps a lot. And when we apply cinnamon, we immediately feel as if warmth spreads throughout the whole body. And these oils, when we work with them, they help us, first of all, they help us accept our physicality, strengthen our connection with our bodies, open up our sexuality, influence how we feel our desires and how we allow ourselves to fulfill those desires. So by working with these essential oils, they help us gain all of this. And if you look at the slide later, I've listed the main points here. Plus, there are also citrus oils, which again bring lightness and optimism, because all of this is important for relationships. So there are certain groups, masculine, feminine, and citrus oils, that can be used for the second chakra. And we apply it to the area of the coccyx, applying it in a clockwise direction to the coccyx area. And if we take the ready-made blend, doTERRA, this is a blend of passion, a blend of protection, which not only boosts immunity, but also gives us a burst of energy. The Citrus Bliss blend, which is very good for creativity, and the Whisper blend. Whisper is the most, it's the blend that consists entirely of aphrodisiacs. That is, it covers both the male and female groups completely. So if we take either cinnamon, which is the strongest oil for this chakra, or in fact, this Whisper blend. So here, all the oils we need are already prepared and available. Now, if we move on to the third chakra, right? The third chakra is precisely about how we express our power, our willpower, right? About how we earn money, and about digestion. So each chakra is responsible not only for certain willpower structures or more subtle aspects, but also for specific organs in our body. And what do we use? Which oils do we use to balance the third chakra? First of all, it's the entire spicy group, all the spicy oils that aid digestion. So they work both on the physical level and on the subtle level at the same time. The second oil, the second group of oils. These would be citrus oils, because it is also believed that the third chakra is governed by the sun. And to balance this chakra, yes, so that we can, shine in society, we use all citrus oils. Then there are also oils that help us not so much to show willpower, but rather so that we have this inner core and we can easily realize ourselves. And this is exactly the group of masculine oils. Yes, they also fit here. And ginger and vetiver and patchouli, although vetiver and patchouli are more grounding, they also belong to the second and first groups. But for the third group, for the third chakra, they are also suitable. And also eucalyptus and mint. These are also oils that belong to the camphor group. So, for example, if we lack willpower, besides ginger, we can also use wintergreen, we can use tea tree oil. These are the oils that work with our willpower, with our ability to structure ourselves. Then where do we apply them? We apply them directly to the abdominal area, to our third chakra. And if we use ready-made blends, which blends should we use? There's the Digest Zen blend, which was specifically created to improve digestion. And the second point is, yes, experiencing these emotions, processing emotions on a subtle level. The joy blend and the motivation blend. These are basically the main blends that we use. Then for harmonizing the fourth chakra, yes, the fourth chakra is our heart center. It's about how open we are to the world, how much we trust the world, and how much we can love ourselves and the people around us. And here, the most important thing is floral oils. floral oils because, first of all, rose, yes, rose is the main oil for opening the heart chakra. And the other oils are aimed at love, compassion, mercy, opening this chakra and letting go of everything unnecessary. And the second point, so first we use these oils. Feminine ones like rose, jasmine, magnolia, geranium is also very good. Myrrh also works with trust and fits here, even though it's not in the feminine group, but it's very suitable because this oil works very well with trust. And the second group of oils we will use are those that remove emotional pain. And the two most powerful oils are Immortelle and Wintergreen. These two oils work especially well with emotional pain. So these are definitely also for the heart chakra. We apply them to the solar plexus area. And what ready-made blends do we have? The forgiveness blend, which is specifically designed to help let go of resentment. So the forgiveness blend is suitable both for the heart chakra and for the very first chakra. That is, we can also apply it to the soles of the feet to work through any resentments we have towards our parents or ancestors. The second blend is the comfort blend. This one is more for a broken heart when we experience losses or traumas. This is the blend we also use for the heart. Then there's deep blue, the deep blue blend, which again is for healing emotional pain, and the breathe blend. Breathe in particular helps to release grief and sadness. And in addition, it works very well on the physical level, for example. If we have any colds or respiratory illnesses, then the breathe blend is the main one we turn to. This is the primary blend we use in such cases. Next, for harmonizing the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra is our throat center. It reflects how much we literally speak, how much we express ourselves. And by the way, this chakra is one of the fastest to activate or raise. For example, even if a person is born with a slightly underdeveloped chakra, this center can be strengthened very quickly. So basically, whenever we simply speak, read books aloud, or start communicating more, this center gets activated very quickly. And which essential oils can help us with this? First and foremost, the two main oils for the throat center are spearmint and lavender. They help to remove the fear of public speaking, right? And to help ourselves express all our thoughts and emotions. These are the two main oils. And then, as I already mentioned, those are the main ones. There's also Roman chamomile and myrrh. They are also very good for opening up. And where do we use them? We apply them directly to the throat area, to our throat chakra. Now, as for, yes, among the ready-made blends, there's the breeze blend. It also works very well for this purpose. As for the sixth chakra, the third eye, naturally, this is primarily connected to our intuition, to our sense of perception, to the subtle vision. And which oils are suitable for this? First and foremost, those that work with intuition. So which oils work with intuition? These are clary sage, basil, and melissa. Melissa is the oil of light. It's a very powerful oil, especially when we're experiencing some kind of depression. To help a person come out of a depressive state and into the light, this oil works very well. And if you were born on the 15th, or if your chart has a lot of the energy of 15, then this is truly the strongest oil for the energy of 15. Then the second group of oils is made up of oils that give us mental clarity. In other words, they help us learn, structure everything, and activate our thought processes. These are lemon oil, rosemary, and as I mentioned, all coniferous oils. So the coniferous group is exactly what gives us mental clarity. Apply it directly to the third eye area in a clockwise direction. This tapping method is used right there, just like this little cactus. It's called tapping. And then we also tap like this. This kind of activates our third eye. As for the seventh chakra, it is our connection to the subtle world. The stronger this connection is, the more support we receive from higher powers and the clearer our understanding of where we should go. In the matrix of destiny, the energies located at the very top chakra are the ones that provide the revelation and understanding of one's path. This chakra is very important because when it is activated, it gives us an understanding of where to move forward. But at the same time, we still primarily pay attention to our very first chakra. That is, everything else is layered on top of it. In other words, when we have a sense of security, again, the first chakra, there are two key words, either survival or prosperity. And whichever path we choose, that's how everything else will be layered on top. So either we move forward in fear, afraid to do something, or we move forward in trust and act out of love, out of support. And that's when we immediately face this choice of path. So first and foremost, we work with the first chakra, and then the rest are built upon it. But for a deeper understanding of our own values, of where we should go next, that's the work of the seventh chakra. And all the sacred oils are suitable here. That is, yes, the sacred group. These are all resins. Yes, frankincense, copaiba, myrrh, nard, sandalwood, melissa. Again, yes, a powerful oil of light. These are the ones we use here. And again, we apply them to the very top of the head and can continue working. Using this tapping method, yes. So it's like we're tuning our body, especially if we're focusing on a certain quality, for example, mental clarity or simply acceptance. And with this quality in mind, we apply the oil. And with this quality, we tap so that it starts to resonate with our body. If we're using ready-made blends, then Arise oil and Elevation oil are also suitable here. And that's briefly about oils. And these are, as I said, general recommendations. That is, if you want, for example, to learn more about how to individually select oils during your chakra numerology consultations, what do? I calculate individually the percentage of each chakra, how much you had at the time of birth, then what periods follow, meaning which chakra is most important to focus on right now. And in addition, according to the matrix of destiny, I look at what energy is present. So in order to select an individual blend for you, we look at the main chakra of this period, how developed it is or not, and what energy is present. And then individual work is done specifically with the chakra you need at this moment. But that's basically everything I wanted to say. If you happen to need a PDF of this presentation, just let me know and I'll send it to you. PDF of the presentation. Well, that's all for now. Goodbye, everyone.